so-called Vice President Joe Biden, someone who is essentially has the onset of Alzheimer's, if he is elected president, and right now he's 15% up in the polls, and it could very well happen, God forbid, he'll probably be doing coloring books in the White House and die shortly after he takes office, in which case we're going to be left with his vice president. And given the fact that he's narrowed the field so much to only an African-American woman, and the only one that appears to be smart enough to be vice president is highly corrupt Kamala Harris, it's in a very frightening situation, notwithstanding the fact that they are moving far left. Now, Freedom Watch doesn't do things to influence elections. We do things for justice. But if what comes about is, in fact, a realization by the American people as to just how corrupt Joe Biden is and just how brain dead he is and how dangerous he is for the American people, so be it. Here, I have a lawsuit. People don't really know that. It hasn't been publicized. Fox News obviously doesn't publicize anything we do because I had issues with Roger Ailes going way back. And I've had to bring lawsuits for the current CEO of Fox News covering up the sexual abuse of my client, Laura Loon. Laura Loon was the biggest victim of Roger Ailes. And if you can believe this, it was Suzanne Scott, the current CEO, the head of Fox News, that the Murdochs put in power to cover up the dead bodies, so to speak, of the females that have been abused by Ailes, that I had to sue Suzanne Scott over Loon, over defamation, because she denied this publicly. She held my client out to dry, defamation by implication. She was actually Ailes's enabler to these things. She actually procured hotel rooms with her own credit card, yet claimed to know nothing about it. And in fact, called my client a liar, in effect. So you'll not read about these things or see them on Fox News. It's one of the reasons that I'm so critical from time to time, actually more than time to time, nearly every day, because they really enrage me because they are hypocritical, they're dishonest. And just yesterday, they defamed my client, Judge Roy Moore, Jessica Turlov, their hack, very intellectually limited liberal commentator, called Judge Moore a pedophile. He's not a pedophile, believe me. In fact, a lawsuit's going forward against Sacha Baron Cohen, the comedian who did the same thing in New York City. And a courageous Obama-appointed federal judge, Andrew Carter, allowed it to go forward. He seems to be a very good judge. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. But let's get back to Biden, because you see, my lawsuit wasn't reported by Fox, and it's going forward. The lawsuit is about him having Google play around with my YouTube, take everything down, because I said that Freedom Watch was going to start a citizens grand jury and seek to have him indicted for the Ukrainian bribery scandal, where money was laundered through his son, millions and millions, if not billions of dollars from the Ukraine. And the son had no expertise to be working for Burisma, this Ukrainian company. And the same is true in China. There's also a scandal there. So we're going to be commissioning our citizens' grand juries shortly after the coronavirus subsides to some extent, and we're going to indict Biden. We're going to do the job that the Justice Department should be doing. And of course, you know that Attorney General Bill Barr does little to nothing. The only thing he's done is to protect the Washington elite, General Mike Flynn. Now, I'm glad he did that for Mike Flynn. And I'm not glad the president commuted the sentence of Roger Stone, because that undercuts his authority to be the law and order president. Stone is guilty as hell. And you can't sanction lying under oath, threatening witnesses, and obstructing justice. But you see how it works in Washington, D.C.? If you are the elite, you're untouchable. And Barr has already said that Biden's untouchable. You know why? Because each political party, as corrupt as they are, and they're both corrupt to the core, believe me, Democrats and Republicans, they have dirt on each other. And what counts most for them? Protecting their own backsides, protecting their derriere. So they can go on and continue to enrich themselves and gather power at the people's expense. Go to Washington, D.C. these days. Even through the recession, you see the tremendous expansion, the tremendous building, the wealth. You have people that never went to college that are multimillionaires there because they got hooked up with the right politician and they sucked off the trough, the public trough, with regard to the money. That's Roger Stone, by the way, in a nutshell. He claims he's, has no money, but I doubt that. One should be looking overseas to see where it might be, just like with Manafort. But the reality here is that we, the people, need to do it for ourselves. And we at Freedom Watch are going to hold Biden accountable. And we are holding Biden accountable. And Larry Klayman personally is holding Biden accountable for what he did with YouTube. Now, I got my YouTubes reinstated because I threatened to bring in, with Google, Biden in the lawsuit. And they were so afraid because they think Biden's going to be the next president that they didn't want to hold him out to dry. So they did put my YouTubes back, Freedom Watch YouTubes, back on our channel, Freedom Watch TV. But that's the moral to the story here. You have to stand up for what's right. You can't couch things based upon who people are, whether they're Washington elites or the president's friends. And you can't couch things based upon your own interest if you're going to change this country. Our founding fathers pledged their fortune and their sacred honor and risked their lives to found a new nation. They risked it all. They were rich landholders, and they were willing to lose it all. And we, the American people, now at this moment of crisis, when we are under attack by the radical left, who are burning, looting, maiming, and killing, and trying to overthrow our so-called government. I don't know what there is to overthrow because it's complete anarchy. Nobody's in charge. Nobody's in charge of the major cities, New York City or whatever. And I've been constructively critical of the president. He needs to step in and take control right now, but he hasn't. And I love the president and I support him personally. But I'll tell you something, if he doesn't step in, that 15% margin with Biden is going to get even bigger because a lot of his supporters will leave him, as apparently they have over the lack of action and the commutation of the sentence of Roger Stone, because people know that just simply stinks. So that's my message for today, is that we need to rise up ourselves, join Freedom Watch's class action against the Chinese, see if you qualify, go to freedomwatchusa.org, our criminal case in The Hague, our various other cases that we're bringing, watch what we do with the police just in the next few days to support them in the city of Philadelphia, my birthplace, the city once of brotherly love, now the city of brotherly hate, because of the radical left over there and the supported District Attorney Larry Krasner and the mayor and the police chief, who are all ultra-leftists, white-hating people and other hating people. Support what we do and share this podcast at freedomwatchusa.org and Spotify, iTunes, Roku, Amazon Fire, the new Twitter, Parlay, and other places. And go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute with tax-deductible contributions, and sign up for our Justice League. I want you to stay safe. I want you to be well. But remember, God helps those that help themselves. Right now, we have no government. It's out of control. Nobody's in charge, including the President of the United States. Nobody is in charge. And I hope that he does, because I wish him the best and I support him. But right now, step up to the plate, President Trump. If you don't step up to the plate, you will be struck out, as they say. And that's the problem, because we don't want him to be. And that's the problem that we now face. So we must now do it for ourselves. God bless you, and I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.
To sync, connect.
What you doing, Dad?
Oh, hey, just setting up the smart TV. But don't worry, I got this.
Just connected to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, doesn't seem very smart to me.
Want some help?
Yeah.
And we should secure our Wi-Fi too, right?
Come again?
Protecting your smart devices is important. With Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi, securing your entire network is so simple, even Dad can do it. Learn how at cox.com/panoramic Wi-Fi.